I would like to now invite Ms. Poonsap Tulaphan. She's the director of the Foundation for Labor and Employment Promotion, and also HomeNet Thailand, which is working to organize informal workers, particularly home-based workers, street vendors, and domestic workers in Thailand. I think one of the main results of her organizing work is the HomeNet Thailand Association, which is comprised by more than 5,000 members of home-based workers, the network of domestic workers in Thailand, with not only Thai workers, but also some of the migrant workers. HomeNet Thailand has promoted and advocates for social protection policies and registration of informal workers. And they have been advocating on behalf of the informal workers for the universal health care coverage for all informal workers, social insurance, occupational health, safety, and working environment, elderly pension, child support allowance, and child care center. HomeNet Thailand is working with the local authorities in several areas in Thailand to promote inclusive urban development of informal workers. I think that now she's going to share more about the actual situation and their response. Ms. Poonsap Tulaphan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Lawrence. Mirai shared earlier with us about the livelihood situation and the difficulty that the informal worker has been facing during the lockdown period. Even in Thailand, it's not worse as like in India. However, it's almost a similar situation. So I like to add more, not in terms of the finding that HomeNet Thailand work did the survey with Chulalongkorn Social Research Institute. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. So in terms of their income loss, you can see that during the lockdown period, our members, their income is lost about 63% to 97%. You can see that like in terms of transport worker is mean motorcycle, taxi driver, and taxi. Their income loss 63%, while the massage service worker, you can see that their income loss even 97% or almost the loss their income. And others occupation like street vendor, home-based worker, domestic worker, and even the beauticians, their income are lost. And next slide. Even though that the government try to help by some relief package, there are 3 relief packages. The government have a cash transfer package, give to formal workers, informal workers, and farmers. But for 3 months, it's about less than $200 US. Anyway, that anyway it's help, but we cannot wait for the government, only for the government support. So during the COVID, during the lockdown situation, the people help each other to be survived, especially the Federation of Informal Workers. We get support. We try to seek donation. You can see that from this side that we have a mutual help for food and to give to our members. We get support from the business sector and individuals, and we prepare the food packet. But under the food package program, we also spend the money to buy food from our food and other like cloth, masks and everything. We try as much as possible to buy from our member and our allies. Like we spend the money to buy food, rice and vegetable, and at the same time masks from home-based worker and some product from street vendor. Then they can earn their living from even from the food package activities. And the second one, that the Federation of Informal Workers, we got support from the business partner, like from Foundation Chanel, to help our members, which we consider that the massage service worker who hard hit from the crisis. So and they are very stressed because they have no money. They have to lock down in their place and they cannot go to work. So we provide them a training course to produce organic products that after the lockdown period, then they can produce these organic products to use in their occupation, in their work. So we found out that all the massage service workers, they are really happy and feel relaxed. They told us their story, how state they face, and they are feel happier when they receive training. And at the same time, they said that they can use their knowledge when after COVID to produce on these organic products to use in their works. Next is another initiative. This is an initiative that done by Chulalongkorn academician. They developed the online platform to link between food vendor and the motorcycle taxi driver and the consumer. It's not a big platform like other business like Grab online, but this is a small one. But it can help that motorcycle taxi driver to earn their income, and at the same time the food vendor can sell their food, and at the same time the consumer can have food to eat. This is the one initiative that links between all partners. And the lastly, I like to talk about a dialogue about the dialogues between street vendor groups and Chiang Rai municipalities. They, after the lockdown periods, they came together and tried to co-create safety measures for street vendor before they opened the city after the COVID-19. This is the sample that the informal worker organization and the local authority come together, put the issue on the table and help each other to co-create the measure to survive, and it's like win-win situation. The next slide, please. As you know, that informal workers are 61% of all workers globally, and 90% are in developing countries. Even in Thailand, it's about 60% too. And our friend from Vigo team said that the informal workers have been the first to lose their income and will be among the last to recover. So we are invisible in the society. So they should be the center of economic recovery plans. They need specific measures to support decent employment. So what I like to suggest is like such as the public procurement policy should be given to at least 30% for home-based workers. I think it should be the government policy to think about this, and at the same time, proper public policy to regulate street vendors should be considered, should be no eviction policy at this time, because the street vendor issue should be the issue that we can talk and we can put on the table and dialogue with each other on how to manage this. And at the same time, we need a soft loan, skill training to cope with future of the work, and it should be ensure asset to laborize. I think it's very important that the government should support informal worker organization or self-help group or cooperative association and other form of organization. In Thailand, I like to say thanks to our government that the government have a policy, to give opportunity to civil society organization to submit the recovery economic project to get support from the government. I think this should be the policy that the other government have to consider. And I think it's very important in terms of participation, like nothing for us without us. So please listen to informal worker organization and increase their participation and co-create public policy on livelihood development, because in terms of reducing of inequality, this is very important. No one knows our problems better than us, so it should consult with us. And the last one, I like to say that the government should ensure access to social protection, especially for health services. Thailand may be less problem than other countries, but in other countries, health issue is very important. So the government should think about the health services and class transfer, and as well as quality and relevant child care center. Under the lockdown periods, the women have to work from home, and at the same time, we have to take care of our children. And after that, we have to go out. After lockdown, we have to go out and sell our product like street vendors. Who will take care of our children? We are very afraid on this. So I like to finish on this, that women and children issue should be core issue in terms of social protection that the government have to consider on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Poonsap Tulaphan. I think she has really echoed already what has been shared by Mirai. I think her survey, which was conducted with the Chulalongkorn University, showed very well the contextualized also differentiation of impact caused to different category of informal workers in Thailand. And she reiterated that there is an urgency of dialogue and space of dialogue needed between government and informal workers, especially women and child cares, actually to design about the recovery strategies for their health and livelihood crisis. And it's very important to initiate this co-creation of public policies, listening to the need of most affected people, so their needs could be reflected in the recovery strategies. I think as she shared that they are unorganized and invisibility is a major issue which do not allow them to be included in that consultation. Thank you very much once again for your strong message, as well as for your contribution.